If you listen to Kirby Smart speak during SEC Media Days, or if you're just over on Dog Post, you kind of got the feeling that Kirby Smart is not super thrilled with the lack of depth that he has in the secondary. Of course, starting quarterback Kamari Lassiter is off to the NFL. Javon Bullard, starting safety, is off to the NFL. Tyke Smith, another defensive back who is now in the NFL. So Georgia's got to replace 3 starters from the secondary. And if you ask Kirby Smart, he's not super thrilled with the depth that he has right there. In fact, it's one of the only position groups where Georgia isn't as deep as maybe he would like. Now, he's never going to say that, we're completely, deep here, and there. But especially in the secondary, Georgia needs guys to step up, right? Nick Saban even asked him that on the SEC network after he spoke with all the reporters, right, during SEC Media Days. Kirby Smart said, "We're just not that deep at the safety position," he told Nick Saban. "There's an opportunity for guys to step in and play." Well, thankfully, they've got an incoming freshman named KJ Bolden who has the potential to be a superstar. Now, I'm not going to say that he is going to win one of the starting jobs in the secondary, but dude's going to play a lot. He is extremely talented. He's fast. He brings track speed. He's got the ball skills, length, and he's got a work ethic that Kirby Smart absolutely loves. Here's what he had to say about KJ Bolden. He said, I think KJ Bolden has a chance to really help us out. He's athletic. He's intelligent. He comes from a really good high school football program. He was able to get 15 practices in this spring and approaches every practice like he's a veteran. Where he is right now is ahead of where Malachi Starks was at that time, and Malachi was able to play as a freshman. Well, not only did he play, he started. And in his first game against Oregon, he had a big interception, and he started basically every game since. He was a 5-star, and KJ Bolden was a 5-star. And that takes me back to his recruitment, because I remember being at Buford probably 2 or 3 weeks before KJ Bolden committed to Florida State. And at that time, Dylan Raiola was committed to Georgia. Jaden Perlotti was joking with me about how he's trying to help build the class. And there are a lot of people that think he's going to flip to Tennessee. And of course, KJ Bolden would quickly commit to Florida State just a couple weeks later. So it's crazy how things can really change. But yeah, he would go on to commit to Florida State, and Kirby Smart said, "That's fine, we're going to keep recruiting you." In fact, here's what he said about that recruitment earlier this spring. He said, "As far as KJ's recruitment goes, I don't see kids as committed to other places because they're not. They're not signed. I just know that we recruit good football players. We evaluate every player the same, whether they're committed or not. If there's interest and conversation from them, and there are visits where they come to our campus, you just stay very consistent." We were consistent with KJ. The recruitment never stopped, and I told him that from day one, the day he committed to us, that we were not going to stop recruiting him because we think he's a great kid from a great family and a really, really good football player. So that's a guy they did not want to miss on. And I may have accidentally said the wrong thing. He said when he committed to Florida State that Kirby Smart told him, "Hey, we don't care that you're committed to Florida State. We're going to keep pushing for you." When they missed on Caleb Downs out of high school, that's when Kirby Smart said, "You know what? I can't miss on these game-changing safeties. I got one of Malachi Starks in that class, did not get Caleb Downs, but we can't let KJ Bolden go to Florida State." And NIL, of course, was a factor. But KJ Bolden said later that he turned down more money from multiple other schools to come to Georgia because he knew that he could still play early and be developed and be able to win championships and be able to be a possible first-round pick in just 3 years. It looks like he is going to play. In fact, Kirby and Nick Saban both said, we don't really know where this is coming from, where other coaches are telling these kids, hey, if you go to Georgia, you go to Alabama, you're not going to be able to play. In fact, I said this in another video, but Nick Saban said you could play a lot earlier at Georgia and Alabama than people realize because they go through guys, right? A lot of these guys are 3 and out, and if they're not playing, they transfer. So there is room for guys to step in and play. And of course, we saw that with Malachi Starks. But Kirby Smart said that we're going to be seeing young players playing a lot more. He said our young players are going to play now more than ever because of the physicality of our league and the number of games. So who can get those guys up to speed fast enough? That will be critical. So we are going to see KJ Bolden a good bit, and he flashed during the spring game. There's no doubt about it. Also, real quick before I dig into this even more, collegebronze.com, before I forget, get your Bulldog today. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. When you order, you can order with the description below in this video. So make sure you are doing that. If you get yours today, you will have it by the football season. It is the best looking Bulldog statue on the market. KJ Bolden was a 5-star. This bad boy right here is also a 5-star. You're not going to find it anywhere else. This is the only place where you can get a discount on the best looking #1 Georgia Bulldog statue on the market today. So, this is nothing new for Dawg Post members. We went and saw KJ Bolden a good bit, again, because we were seeing Jaden Perlotti and Dylan Raiola and Edric Houston, who went to go to Ohio State, and a lot of other guys, right? He is explosive. I said from the very beginning. And listen, Georgia wanted this guy as a freshman. They knew he was a special talent, and this might have to go down as one of the biggest recruiting wins that Kirby Smart has had in several years, especially knowing that he is working his butt off. He was there in the spring practice. We heard he was making a lot of noise. We have only heard good things about KJ Bolden. From the time he got to Georgia, he had great spring practices, and Kirby Smart even said that. He had 15 practices. He got better. He works hard. He was already a tremendous athlete with big-time track speed, length. He's like 6'2", 180, 185. You saw in the spring game, if you go back and watch it, he knows how to take the correct angle to the ball carrier. He can run them down. Running backs trying to get to the edge, to the perimeter. He'll run you down and has the ability to make a play in the backfield. But I always said, if he played for me, he would get a look at wide receiver. He is that explosive. You have to have speed at wide receiver and dependable hands. And I saw him score multiple touchdowns at Buford on offense. I saw him zigzag his way through the Grayson defense in the playoffs last year. Buford lost that game, but KJ Bolden had the play of the game. Wasn't even close. This guy is electric. He is going to bring speed, versatility, length, instincts. I know he can tackle too. He is a tough physical tackler. So he really is the total package at safety. And if Kirby Smart is saying that he's already past where Malachi Starks was at this time in his career, that says a lot, because Malachi Starks could be a top 10, top 15 pick, maybe the first safety off the board, and might be the best safety in college football right now. He's another guy who brings tremendous ball skills, athleticism, and speed. He was a running back at Jefferson while being a safety. Actually played quarterback, if I remember correctly, or at least took snaps at quarterback. But KJ Bolden is the real deal. And everything that we thought he was going to be, covering him in high school, it looks like it's coming to fruition. And he is the guy. And let's talk about safety for a little bit, because Malachi Starks has one of those locked down. Dan Jackson is a guy who Kirby Smart mentioned. He's got experience. He's going to see the field in some capacity. Dalen Everett, cornerback. The other cornerback spot, maybe Daniel Harris, a guy that I continue to talk about. I am a big Daniel Harris guy. Wouldn't surprise me if by the end of the season he maybe passed Julian Humphrey, who looks like to be in the best position for the other cornerback spot. But no David Daniel. He was kicked off the team or whatever. Dismissed from the team. Violation of team rules, so he's gone. Janelle Aguero is a tough, hard-hitting safety that I think is going to see a lot of the field. Justin Rhett is a promising safety. You've got Ellis Robinson, the 5-star cornerback, top 5 prospect out of high school in the country. He is going to play in some capacity this year. Maybe not as early as KJ Bolden, because they need more safety help than cornerback help. But Kirby Smart had no problem when asked, hey, who is a young guy who has already made a big impression, who could see the field? KJ Bolden was the first guy he mentioned. And he mentioned that because of the lack of depth at safety, he's basically saying, we're glad we got that flip. We're glad that we continue to recruit him and push for him. Even though he was committed to Florida State throughout the fall, throughout his senior year, they went and did basically everything they could to flip him. They won his mother over. They won the family over. They won KJ over, more importantly. And on signing day, or I believe it was a day or two before signing day, I don't exactly remember, but it was at the end of his recruitment. The very end, he flips to Georgia, and we could look back on this in a few years and say, wow, of all the flips that Kirby Smart has made, the one getting KJ Bolden, flipping him from Florida State, might be one of his best. We're going to see a lot of him this fall. He is going to be a multi-year starter, in my opinion. Maybe he earns one of those starting roles by the end of the year. He's a versatile player too. You might be able to see him at that nickel, that star position, or one of the other two safety spots. But when Malachi Starks leaves after this year, that is going to make things even easier for KJ Bolden to see the field and earn a starting job at Georgia. But big statement from Kirby Smart talking about true freshman, former 5-star safety KJ Bolden. Crazy high expectations. He is a fantastic player. He's going to make a lot of Georgia fans happy. Thanks for watching this video. Again, get your Bulldog today. Promo code DAWGPOST, DAWGPOST. All the information is in the description below in this video. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the website.